The big thing for me as a veteran is when you don't come home with all the soldiers you deployed with, which unfortunately happened on almost all my deployments, you don't feel like you've done your job. Subconsciously, there's a guilt, there's a burden that is on us as veterans, particularly me. To know that I'm helping families that have lost someone downrange helps take the edge off some of that guilt. It helps keep some of the demons at bay that otherwise are there just always nagging at you from the things that we've done downrange. That's the reality of it.
In the military, memorials are a big deal. You know, we value them, we cherish them, and what was interesting is that when we went to our reunion, the memorial felt very cookie cutter. You know, if it were up to me, that entire reunion would be reconnecting with our classmates, spending time together healing, and honoring our fallen.
We started talking about how do we start to deal with these feelings of losing our classmates and our friends and our soldiers and those we love. And you get into a really big feeling of, what can I do? Rocket started talking about this concept of pulling something together, and it quickly morphed. The idea of coming together and bringing folks and trying to find a way to provide for those that we had lost, it made sense, and it gave you the chance to do something.
Many of us realized at that time that we aren't limited in how and when and the duration by which we honor our fallen. We can do it every single day in things that we do, and I think that's really where this was created. For me, I often think of the last scene in Saving Private Ryan where he's like, earn this. And so every day we get up and we try to earn the opportunity to continue to move forward and continue to help people and pay tribute to those that aren't able to do that anymore. And so that was where we realized we don't have to wait for a reunion to honor those we care about. And we don't have to wait for a reunion to take care of their children.
We approached our surviving spouses and asked them what they needed. And one of our widows, Tracy Volke, she's the widow of Major Paul Volke who died in Afghanistan. She pulled me aside and said, Rock, what I really need is time with the boys, talking about and learning about their dad. And that was the whole impetus behind bringing someone, a surviving child, and a mentor who knew the fallen together to spend time together in Alaska. And so in 2015, we did this test run with this bridge construction. And then after that 2-week event, that's when the Alaska project was born, because we knew, I knew I had a winner. I knew that taking a surviving child and then putting them with someone that knew their parent, putting them together, they would have a friendship for life, a mentor for life, and then literally would be a bond that you can't break.
There's not a lot of things in life where he says something like that with that kind of conviction. So right away, I was like, I need to get out there and figure out what this is all about. I had never been to Alaska, and by the end of that first day, I was convinced I wanted to buy land there, move there, and I was on board with Rock 100%. A lot of what gets me into trouble is blindly following Rock into pretty much anything, but this is one of those where I knew in my heart that's the direction we needed to go into.
As a board, we really thought through this. We saw this great experience that Rockwood had been able to have with AJ, and to talk about how it went and the emotions involved and the healing, not only for AJ, but also for Rock. But like, okay, got it. But we can do that anywhere, right? We can do it down the street. We can do it over here. Why Alaska? It's remote. It's a pain to get to. Nothing's easy about Alaska. We went out there, we went to the glaciers, we went down, we went to a nature preserve, and when we got to see what was this raw natural beauty of Alaska, I never realized the power of healing that you can get from nature. And all of a sudden it hit, and all of a sudden I was like, this is why Alaska.
So Alaska was the place. We knew that was the case. And then each year, as word got out as to how special it was for both the survivor family, but then also for the mentor family, it grew. And then in the summer of 2020, right during the height of COVID and all the craziness, we purchased raw 50 acres of land in Alaska, and then construction started. And by construction, I mean 50 acres of just wilderness, and turned into the starting point for this retreat. And then in the summer of 21, we had 72 volunteers, and we went from 1 cabin to 6 cabins in the period of a few weeks.
Showing up on the property at the beginning of construction week with a bunch of people that have never done construction projects before, and being told that we were going to build 5 cabins to code in essentially 5.5 days while doing other activities, I truly thought was an insurmountable task. And I don't say that lightly, because I trust Rock with my life and with anything, but I truly thought we had bitten off way more than we could chew.
We built teams. So we had a foundation team and a roofing team and a framing team and a windows team. And so we put it together, and I'm not gonna lie, it was like, this seems a little shady, but okay, we'll see what happens, right?
What started to happen is team 1 did the foundation, and they moved and did the next foundation, the next team moved in, and it just started building, so that by day 3, as the first cabin was done, more people were helping with other stuff. And honestly, God, day 5 cabins that weren't there 5 days earlier. Like, if we could teach that skill set to the rest of the construction world, it was a beautiful and amazing thing to see.
Literally at the exact transition from construction week to survivor week, the house that we were renting was empty. And for the first time, instead of the house being filled and all this activity, it was dead silent. And sometimes silence is bad, because silence lets you think. And I sat there, and it started to hit me what had happened in the last week. It started to hit me all those people that had came in, not only the classmates, but their family members, the local community that came out. And you know, you talk about the Gold Star Peak folks, you talk about Doc Joslin, you talk about all the friends, you talk about the VFW, everybody that had showed up, they gave their time. And it kind of hit me. This is more than just us. This isn't about 10 people. This isn't about 15 people. This is a concept that resonates with people. Giving to others, supporting others, being there for other people. And then we got busy again.
So to date, right now, we have the caretaker cabin that's fully up and running and is ready to be moved in. We have 5 of our 10 dry cabins for campers to stay at. And then we are ready to break ground for our main lodge. And that main lodge, we think, is around $1 million total investment. And that would have our kitchen facility, our bathing facility, and then also our huge banquet hall, which we do all of our group meals, all the things that military traditions kind of stem from, joining together for breakfast, joining together in the evening for dinner, or then doing events together in that lodge.
So if we can grow and we can finish our construction projects and create this self-sustaining environment in Alaska, we have the opportunity to make a positive change and an emotional growth experience for people far beyond our reach right now. And that is something that's very exciting to all of us that are a part of this.
To be honest with you, when I'm asked to do something in support of the 98 Fund, even if my instinct is to say no, I always try to find the time to say yes. Because saying yes has always had a greater impact on me than no ever could. That feedback, that feeling, those emotions, that impact, I don't know what others feel, but I know how I felt, and it empowers me afterwards to say, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be painful, it's gonna be long days, it's gonna detract from other priorities, but it's gonna be worth it.
The Alaska project is a huge undertaking for us. And as a result, it seems like and feels like that's our main focus. And in many ways it is. But our day-to-day existence is about continuing to help the veteran community. We were a few years into the 98 Fund, doing everything that we do. Everything was going well. I didn't feel like I needed a rally cry, right? Like I knew why I was doing this, but I was talking to Tracy Volke, and she said to me, Jason, in the Jewish faith, we have a belief that a person can die twice. Once when they physically leave this earth, and once when we stop mentioning their name. And in that moment, I realized that everything that we do is to continue to say the names of those that have sacrificed their lives for our freedom, our ideals, and the values that we hold true. I don't ever want any of them to die a second death. I do what I do with this fund for that reason. I have a lot of healing to do, and I think we all do. And as Rock has mentioned and we've talked about numerous times, I think that helping others helps give back in a way that it will never take away some of the loss that we feel or the emptiness that we feel, but it allows us to feel like we are doing something that they would be proud of.